That was a rude awakening living in a big city. The door was locked. We had the key, but they broke it.
We don't know anything about locking the room. I thought when it's locked now.
When I came back and I saw this door was ajar.
As soon as you open the elevator, the room is right there.
Wow, did I forget to close it? When I pushed the door open, everything was a shambles. Our wedding rings, your mom's jewelry, even my stereo, that the only possession that I had.
They robbed us then.
Our cooking pot was taken. They took everything.
And how long had you been in New York at this point?
A week. I said, okay, now what do we do? So that's, welcome to New York City.
Mabuhay and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tez Milan. I am a Filipino-American creative who is on a mission to do a deep dive into my lost Philippine heritage, to learn as much as I possibly can and to share that with you. Today, I am filming from New York City. I did something really special before I left Arizona. I got the chance to interview my parents who lived here for about a year in Midtown Manhattan when they first immigrated to the United States. So I am here interviewing my mom, and she's been telling me about where they live. All right, so I'm here with my dad and I'm interviewing him about his time in New York City. I plan on going and visiting all those places. I want to go back to see where these places are and share that with you. Let's do it. I got my bag, I got my camera, I got my microphone. We're heading out into the city. When did you move to New York?
October 1971.
Still there.
What's still there?
Roosevelt Hotel.
You stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel. But where?
No, Hudson Hotel. We lived at the Hudson Hotel, not Roosevelt Hotel.
It looks nice now. They must have renovated it because it was pretty drab then. Is this correct?
Wait, okay, so you didn't live at the Roosevelt Hotel. You lived at the
Hudson Hotel. A special privilege for relatives to stay at Hudson Hotel. I think Hell's Kitchen was either low street or the high street. You know how they have to start low and then going up.
Right.
It's apartments.
Yeah.
Apartments with workers.
Yeah.
Like they're all nurses. They all live there.
We were near the Columbus Circle.
We're here at Columbus Circle and I'm going to the Hudson Hotel. It's a 5-minute walk. Yeah, it's like right down the street. Let's go check this place out.
They were so crowded. I mean, we were sleeping in sofas and all that. We just crowded in with them because we don't know what New York City is. We rented a one room. Basically, it's a one hotel room, one bed, and that was it. Bathroom. It was no frills, no nothing. It was cheap at that time.
That looks like it would be a place where my parents would have lived as new immigrants to the United States with like no money, just trying to make their way here for the first time coming from the Philippines.
I would walk all the way down to Battery Park Plaza looking for work. It is a long freaking walk. I must have walked it like 10 times. Chelsea, Union Square, Greenwich Village, Bowery, Chinatown, Tribeca, and then Battery. So I would usually follow 6th or 5th Avenue because I love 5th Avenue. It's all the riches and all that. It didn't bother me because there's a lot of stores and apartment buildings. Hey, New York's new to me. First time I've seen a really huge city. Then your mom worked for Macy's.
You first got a job at Macy's.
No, Ameritex. That's the only available job. I want a job right away. After Ameritex, I have to go to Macy's. It's like a temporary seasonal. I took the bus. Going to work, I took the bus. I'm afraid of the subways.
Oh, really?
I will never go. It's like it's a trap. My bus route is from Herald Square to Columbus Circle. And then I have to walk from Columbus Circle to Hudson Hotel. Probably a block or two. This is 10, 11 o'clock at night. But I grew up in Tondo, so I see people being stopped to death and all that.
I also found a job in the financial district, Wall Street. It's walking distance to the exchange. By the time I was taking the subway, I learned how to do that. Obviously, you cannot walk to work. So when I found work, at least I have some money to pay for transportation. I started working there, but it wasn't enough. I found a part-time job with E.F. Hutton at night.
I'm here in the financial district, taking a look at where my dad used to work. It was at the Battery Plaza.
I started to learn how the stock market works, and I got good at it, so I started helping out the traders. And then when I found the electric engineering job, I had to quit. I said, why? Well, I went to school for 12 years in engineering, so I want to go back there. So where is it? In the Bronx? Are you sure you want to work in the Bronx? I have no option.
I don't think I'm allowed to go in there. so we're gonna leave.
For the meantime, I was looking for a computer programming job.
Your mom then found a job with Prudential Insurance. It's a programming job. First and foremost is put the bread on the table and get your family started, get your career started. Our whole focus, your mom and I, that was our entire focus the whole time. Where can we find our better job, better job, better job? Until we finally did find it and we moved to New Jersey.
Was there a large Filipino community?
A lot of nurses, because that was the wave, the brain drain of nurses and doctors getting out of the Philippines at that time.
See, it was a brain drain. I didn't even want to go to the embassy because they might ship me to America right away. I did not know that you have to wait 6 months until they approve you because everybody's falling in line.
The recession hit in the US in the 1970s. It's hard for engineers to find job, but nurses and doctors all over Chicago, Fresno, New York City, Los Angeles, they flooded the whole country.
You know what was funny? They call in sick. So then with Taliban, I don't know, they call in sick. So after the party, they will meet their boss right there and they said, where you came from? From the party or sightseeing. And yet they called in sick.
But living in New York at the time, it's a struggle. You have to work. There was hardly any downtime. You're busy either taking care of the kids or trying to get to 2 jobs.
Yeah. How did New York City feel to you at that time?
Dangerous. But I did not know that.
At the time,
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know.
1 o'clock in the morning, I would take the subway back from the Wall Street area to the hotel. Sometimes there would only be me and a couple of druggies that are passed out or staring at you, especially in the wintertime. You see these people sleeping on the steam grates, you know, the heaters where it's warm. But in those days, they don't bother you. What did they get from me? I mean, just poor Asian. So it didn't bother me. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I was riding subways. The crimes was kind of different then. Now it's more random. 42nd Street was the red light district. Very bad, very dirty. Times Square was really notorious for being the worst place. It's a tourist attraction because there's all this red light district.
this is Times Square.
I walked right through it. I was curious too. I said, okay, so this is New York City. A lot of lights. On the weekends when everybody was off, we had this old car. We would all pile into this car.
We fitted in that Volkswagen.
We stacked all these kids in the back and we were on the front. It's amazing how we can fit everything. Until they bought the big station wagon, then we went to Canada.
Oh my God. We went to Niagara Falls. We went apple picking.
There was a lot of memories there.
We were shopping until almost midnight that Christmas. The shopping is right there. They bring their clothes there. Avenues of the Americas at Broadway. I was smelling the flower. It was real flower and it's plastic. You remember my outfit that's purple? I got it from the street because they're there. People that are selling their clothes. I don't know where they got the clothes. Very cheap.
Was there like a Filipino town at the time in New York?
There's no Filipino town, but people working together, you get to be kind of close friends.
So did you have a lot of parties?
Yeah. Filipinos always at parties.
So where did you have your parties?
At the apartments.
There's no place to celebrate because you're all living in one-bedroom apartments. You get together, you watch football, and then you just all squish together in this little sofa. Kids were playing, women were cooking.
I didn't cook. They cook all the time.
It was all fun though. So that was our weekend. The only time that I would go out is when I go all the way to the Central Park. I didn't know that it was Central Park. I just said, wow, why is this forest in here? There was not a big community per se. They were all dispersed. Remember, at that time, everybody was trying to survive. We were no more than 2-3 years in the country. We were all living in apartments. The only time that we would have found time was when we get together to spend Sunday afternoon watching football. Other than that, there was no cohesive Filipino community. Only those that you know by happenstance because they're working together. That was the community.
Do you remember having friends that were not Filipino?
Yeah, they're all over the place.
But you, did you ever hang out with other people other than Filipinos?
Yeah, we have some friends. Oh, not after office hours.
We never had anybody outside of the Filipino community that helped us. We were all so close-knit. The most we probably would have like 3 or 4 families, and all interrelated by work. Beyond that, I don't even know. I've never met other Filipinos or never tried attempting to find other Filipinos. You are so inward focused. You don't have time for socializing. And it's a big city. In a big city, that doesn't encourage collegiality.
You find that trust was something
No, you don't trust anybody. You don't.
Was it because of where you grew up in Tondo?
It doesn't matter. You cannot trust anybody.
So New York City was a good training ground. Okay, how do I survive in this? Because I was born in the jungles. I live in the jungles most of my life. And here I am in this big city that I don't know what this is all about. You feel awe. You're like visiting the Oz. I said, wow, what is this place? All these high rises. Wow, so these are the places. How did we ever survive just living in a suitcase? But now, look at this, all of this. You learn to adapt, especially when they stole our pot. Now what do we do? I didn't have time to think about the Philippines. Plus the fact that by the time the martial law was announced, so there's no way I can go back anyway. It took me 20 years before I finally set back the Philippines. Living in Manhattan is a totally different experience. Anybody who's an immigrant should experience it, hopefully in their life, to see what it's like to live in a really big city. It's so overwhelming. Once in a while, I would say, why did I go here? It is an interesting time in the life. At least I experienced it for a year. Would I want to go back and live there? No.
It's new adventure all the time. Unbelievable. It's a long time ago. I just want my calamari. Yes, ladies, it's gonna be right there.